Hi, everybody. Oops. Can we tell it's been
Hi, everybody.
Let's get the volume down. Can we tell it's been a while? Just let me find it in Scrapbookers. So I hope everybody's having an awesome day. There we are. Hi, Donna. Let's get the volume down on this one too. It's been a while. I'm out of practice. Okay, so hope it's great where you are today, and it's pretty good here. We've had decent weather the last couple of days, and of course the phone's gonna ring. My husband will get it, so just bear with me while he gets the phone. So I'm just gonna wait a second. Just gonna let that ring. Sorry about that. Of course, it never fails, right? It's been a while. If you're part of Scrapbookers, you know that Tammy and I got new knees almost at the same time, and unfortunately, or fortunately, my knee or I took a longer break. I don't know how she went back to work when she did, but she did. I took a little longer break because that's what I needed to do for me, and it's doing amazing. And now I'm ready to get rolling. Oh, Marie, that's not good. Big storms I don't like. No, we're pretty lucky here. Where I live, we're just about done winter, so that's kind of a good thing. So what I wanted to talk about today, or kind of walk you through today, is all those scraps we have in our stash, all those collections that we still have a little bit of paper. We keep all the little pieces. We don't want to throw anything away. That's what this is all about. It's using up those pieces of paper. And that's what I did to create these cards. I used one card sketch. I went to Pinterest and I just found a card sketch that I kind of liked. Oh, Marie, 6 to 8 inches of snow. No, thank you. No, 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 thank you. I just used the same card sketch just to give you different ideas of what these cards can look like and give you ideas for using up your scraps. Did a little stamping. I'll show you that stamp because Tammy does have this stamp in the shop, and it is an awesome stamp. If you don't already have it, I cannot believe this is happening today, but it is. This is what happens when we're live, and we're just going to have to bear with this because it is. 1 second, please.
Tell us.
Yeah, well, I can't deal with them. They do call back. All right, I'm back. Everything that could happen, hopefully nothing else goes sideways here. All right, where were we? We were talking about the cards. We were talking about what I like about them. So one card sketch taken from Pinterest. Thank you to whoever made the card sketch. I did not hold on to it. It was just, I saw one and I went, I kind of like that. Let's see what we can do with it. So this particular card was made from the Country Craft Creations Bloom Where You're Planted collection. I believe that's the name of it. And this is just a flower I had in my stash. I used the baby blue artisan on it. And then inside, you can write what you want. Just an A2 size card. So A2 size cards are cut from a piece of cardstock that measures 5.5 by 8.5, and you score at 4.25. So that's all these cards are A2. That's my standard size for making cards. It's the one I like. all these cards, I did the 1/8 border all the way around things. On some cards, I used the 1/4 border all the way around. So I'll give you measurements for the pattern paper and the matting paper here in a second. So this was Bloom Where You're Planted. This is from the calendar collection, the Country Craft Creations calendar collection. And of course, I had to give a shout out to the Beagles. And that's why he's on there. Again, the flowers from my stash. This is a piece of my colors that I believe is called Orchid. I could be wrong with that, but I believe it's Orchid. And again, all the same measurements. This is from Gentleman's Floor. And I believe this particular card, our paper line, it's probably one of my favorite mail papers. And I don't know why. I think it might be the earth tones. The enamel dots were in my stash. And what I would say about enamel dots, when you see enamel dots, even if they're not with a collection and you kind of like the colors, add them to your embellishment collection. They come in handy because these enamel dots almost match this color to a T. And I use craft cardstock as my layering pieces on this one. And then the last one was done with Ireland Forever, and not the companion, the original one. And I actually used a piece of pattern paper and stamped right on it. So I'm hoping you can actually see that. Yes, I think you can. It says Just Because. And like I say, these were all from my scraps. And sometimes what you have to do is you just have to take a day and just make a bunch of cards. You don't know what you're going to be using them for, but make the cards. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Gail. You missed all the excitement of my telephone ringing twice. Didn't have it moved out of the room. You know, everything that can happen in a live, and I still do them. So this is what we're talking about today, is using your scraps and making cards. And you don't even, so like on this card, I didn't even layer my two pieces here. I did not layer them on any baby blue paper. I just added them as they were. And so, yes, on these dark colors, you can really see the difference. But on these light colors, you don't always have to have a matting layer. So that's what this is all about, is just pulling into your stash, seeing what you got. Hello, Miss Tammy. Well, we have talked. It's just first time doing a live. And like I say, and then, Tammy, I don't know if you were there, my phone is ringing twice today. Doesn't ring all day. And within the first 3 minutes of doing the live, it rings twice. So it is what it is. So that's what this is all about. If you've got questions and you think I can answer them, I'd love to get those questions. But it's all about digging into your stash, going back to those paper collections that you used and doing more with them. Like I got this idea in my head for a mini album, and I just got to get the details worked out. But so let's get started. We're going to make one card with you because I want to see you making cards from your scraps and posting them. Please show me what you got in your scraps, because you're going to be shocked how many pieces of paper you have and how many possible cards. I know I said it was a shout out. This guy was a shout out to the Beagles. I couldn't just say Wilbur because there's Homer too, even these are not Homer's colors. But yes, it was a shout out to the Beagles. And it's a Just Because. And we all need Just Because cards. So I also said that the this stamp comes out of a stamp set that I have. Just let me pull this out. Now, I know that there are a few of these in the shop, not many. So if you're thinking you really like this stamp, I would not wait to get it, because I know we're having a terrible time getting things like this reordered from G45. So this is from G45. It's their stamp collection, and I use the Just Because, but it's got all kinds. It's got You're the Bee's Knee. You make my heart smile, celebrate for my friend, big day, hello old sport, just for you. It's just a really nice stamp set with a lot of opportunities on it of things you could do. So like I say, if you're interested in this stamp set, I will, after the live, go and get the link and put it down in the description, I guess, which will be down here. And but don't wait, because I know there's not many of them. Okay. Anyway, so let's get started. And my new toy is a stamp press. And I did splurge and get myself the Misty. And you know what? I love it. Just a shout out. I shouldn't have said that, but it's a really good, yeah. I quite like it. All right. So the last card I'm going to make in this set, well, not the last, but the last one for today is there's my little bling embellishments, and watch me misplace them now because I don't have them in a little container. And I've got everything cut just to make it a little easier. Hello, Miss Nicole. Hello, Liz. Just hello, Heather. All right, so let's get you some measurements so you kind of have an idea. But if you've watched some of my other A2 cards, they're always close. So the layering piece of the Black Artisan measures 4 by 5 1/4. And then the piece of pattern paper I'm going to be putting on top, which I want to get you the name of this one. It comes out of, just give me 1 second here. Love Letters is what this one's coming out of. And like I say, look at your scraps. You got tons of them. So the piece of pattern paper from Love Letters measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then the 2 little strips. So one is slightly larger than the other. So we'll start with the smallest measurement first. So the matting paper is 3. What am I doing here? Here we go. Get the right 2. Okay, so the largest one is 3 7/8 by 1 3/8, and its piece of pattern paper is going to measure 3 3/4 by 1 1/4. The smaller strip is going to be, so the matting paper, or the the matting paper is going to be 3 5/8 by 1 3/8, and then the pattern paper itself is 3 1/2 by 1 1/4. And then this one, so for the little strip that's going to go across the bottom with the mat, I did stamp just because right onto the pattern paper, because I kind of like that idea. So this little piece is measuring 1 inch, and it should measure 3 7/8, because I only want it to go from one side of the pattern paper to the other side. And then the matting piece that's going to be going behind, and this is Artisan, by the way, it's 1 1/8 by 3 7/8. And that's basically what you're going to use to create this card. So here's what you could do. Just another idea. Go through all your scraps, and if you find a card sketch that you love, cut a bunch of paper and then just start playing. And you'll be surprised what you get. And you know what? You could even mix your collections. Nobody's going to know. If it sings to you, that's what you do. Oh, well, I guess that's a good thing, as long as he follows the list, right, Heather? if he's getting the groceries. So I am going to use some of the sepia to ink my edges because that hasn't changed. It's still one of my favorite colors to ink with. So we're just going to ink these edges. And at the very end of this, I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of what I've been working on to get me back into the groove. Just inking these edges. And now the last one. Now I'm going to round the corners on a couple of things, so I am going to have to go back and re-ink. But we'll just set this aside for right now. And we're going to, just using my We Are Memory Keepers punch or corner rounder. You can use whatever. Maybe you don't like to round your corners. That's okay, because it happens to be your card, right? I like to ink the edges. I don't always ink them if I'm going to be using white cardstock, because I tend to make a huge mess. And of course, it's not always forgiving on white cardstock. So anybody got any exciting weekend plans? I'm hoping I get to go for a walk tomorrow. Oops, hopefully I can salvage it. I can. Okay, we're not going to round the sentiment strip. So let's just get the ink back out and just touch up these corners. What was I thinking? Hello, Tina. How are you? I know. Like I said in the beginning, Tammy and I both had knees done at the same time or within 5 days of each other. And she was back slugging it right away, but I needed a little more time because I'm older, you know. All right, so now the only thing I want to double check is if you've got a paper that's got any writing on it, make sure you've got your writing going, you know, the right direction. And believe it or not, this is the right direction because I can make out from or farm. And then we're just going to add some adhesive. And I'm going to use the art glitter glue. Ooh, that's pretty too, isn't it? But no, I want these roses at the top so that I'm going to seed them after I get my strips put on. Oh, that would be exciting, Liz. That would be very exciting. I'm just going to add the adhesive. Lining it up so that you keep that nice 1/8 of an inch. And those of you that know me know that I love my glow mat or my glow. And if you don't follow me, you can purchase these at countrycraftcreations.com. Tammy does sell them, and actually they get shipped right from the manufacturer, so it's kind of handy. Okay, that's not the one I wanted. This is the one I wanted. So just line up your little pieces. And I always do this first. Get all my pattern paper with its mats on the back of it before I start assembling my card. And I just find it's easier this way. There's one. I know, I love it. And I love it with the self-healing mat on top of it. And to clean it, all I do is I take some hand sanitizer and wipe it off with that. And it comes back looking just as good as new. Because I am notorious, as you can see, for sometimes the glue spills out from the edge of whatever I'm gluing down. And plus I find with the light behind what I'm working on, it just seems to be easier for me. There we go. I love my mat. And like I say, these cards are so simple. I think I've said this in some of my other lives, that all these cards that we see online that are, oh, they look beautiful, but how do you recreate them unless you've got everything that they've got? And like, I want to keep the cards that I'm showing you to be realistic, to be stuff that you have in your stash, stuff that you can pull on, that you know, that you've got, that you're not having to go out and spend a whole ton of money to make these cards. You've already got the stuff. Okay, so I know that my sentiment strip is going to go down here, something like this. And then I'm going to have one, and I always have to look at those hearts to decide which way I want them. So I'm going to have one to go like this, and then this guy is going to get tucked underneath, something like that. And I am going to pop them up, and then we're going to put a few little embellishments. So let me get some pop dots. I'm going to want these guys, and I'm going to want some thin ones. And you don't have to pop them up if you don't want to. That's just what I like to do. Maybe if you're going to be mailing it, you want to keep it flat. You don't want anything popped up. I just like it when things are popped up because it just gives it a little bit of depth. And I had them. There they are. So just kind of add some pop dots. And I probably, I'm quite generous with pop dots. And that's a personal choice too, right? All right, let's peel the backing off. And I find it's just easier when I use some tweezers. Like so. All right, so I'm going to bring this card down a little closer to me. I don't want to get too far down. And just going to kind of line it up. I want it closer to the bottom. About 1/4 of an inch up from the bottom is what I'm working. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to use some larger pop dots, because remember I popped this up. So on the top of this strip, I'm going to put my larger pop dots. And again, I'm pretty generous. And then I'm going to have something like that. So I'm not going to have any pop dots down here on the bottom because it's going to sit on top of my sentiment strip. So that one's going to go like that. This one's going to go in something like that. So only I think I want, yeah, I'm hoping you guys can see this. There's some swirls. Looks like it was stamped on the paper, and I want those to be seen. So let's put some more. Make sure I'm working at the top. So my husband said before I was going live, he says, well, how long are you going to be? And I said, less than an hour. This is just a test to see how I'm going to hold up, standing up for, because my next project probably is going to be a little longer, or we'll probably have to do it in some segments, I think. All right, so it's going to be something like this. And I'm going to kind of lay it out, decide how I want these two pieces to overlap each other. And when I'm happy, I'm just putting some glue that's going to hold it, and I'll explain why in a second. Except I think I want this down more. Changed my mind as I was, yes. So I just put a little dab of glue behind this strip so that they're now attached as one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in with my thinner pop dots and use them. Because remember, I popped this up with thin ones. So we have to at least get this up to height. Let's just turn it back over. Yeah, I want one large one right about there. So something like this. I think I like that. And then I'm going to remove my pop dots. And like I say, this is what this is all about, is just giving you some ideas. And then I can't wait to see what you guys do. I'm hoping I'll see cards that you've made with your scraps. Because why leave that paper? It's still good. We can make things with it. We don't have to throw it away. Like, I very rarely throw any scraps away until I am down to teeny tiny little pieces. Then I get rid of them. And let's get rid of that. And like so. So again, we're just going to line it up. Something like that. And then start pressing it down. And there we are. There is the bulk of it put together. Just going to set these aside so they're not in my way. Now, I also want to pop this up on my card base. I'm just getting out my long roll of thin foam tape. And there we go. And I just got to get out a card base. Because we're going to need that. I'm just going to set that up there at the top. All right, now, and again, I said your card base, it measures 8.5 by 5.5. And on the 8.5 inch side, you are going to score at 4.25. And I usually I have a bunch of them in a drawer down here so that when I'm making cards, they're already ready to roll. You could round the corners if you wanted to. You don't have to round the corners. It is your choice. I tend to leave anything like a little embellishment like this. I don't put those on until after I adhere it to the card base. And again, if you were going to stamp something, my trick would be stamp before you adhere your front to the card, because sometimes we oops. So, and if you do make a mistake, or the stamped image isn't as crisp as you want it to be, or the sentiment isn't, you can always take a white piece of paper, layer your backing, so the matte layer, put it on the inside, then stamp again on a white piece of paper. Just another idea. And then you don't have to worry if you mess up, because, well, it's not attached to the card yet, right? All right, so let's line this up. I really like this one. This would make a beautiful wedding card. Whoops, 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 whoops. Come on. Just want it to, yeah, that's what I thought it was doing. I didn't. It's very sticky. It's okay, we're good. I was just a little too low that time, so I want to try this again. Because this is 1/4 of an inch smaller than your card base. There we go. All right, and then for the little embellishments over on that corner, I'm going to use these hearts that I had in my stash. They're just little clear embellishments. So I'm just going to hopefully be able to pick them up with some tweezers. Yeah, right. Watch them go flying. Put a little adhesive, and I'm just using my art glitter glue. And then I'm just going to decide to move this over here. I think I want one. I think I want this guy down here. And remember, your art glitter glue dries clear, so nobody's going to see it. And one there. And then the teeny tiny little one. And like I say, just check out your stash. Maybe you've got some twine that you could make a bow. Maybe you want to use some ribbon. There's just so many options of what we can do. And I like to stagger my embellishments. So there's the embellishments in the corner. And there you go. How long did that take us? Yes, I had all my pieces cut out, but it doesn't take a long time to make these cards. These are simple, easy, functional cards to make, and all I used was scraps. So that's what I'm challenging you guys to. Go into your scraps, make a bunch of cards, and let us see them over on Scrapbookers. That's what this was all about today. And it was also a test to see how good my knee's going to hold up to standing while I'm doing this. And you know what? For the most part, it's done quite well. Now, I said I was going to show you a little sneak peek. So there's our last card we made. And just let me get the other ones just so you can see them all together. And there we go. There's a set of 5 cards, just because cards, that you can throw into your stash, and you're ready for when you need a card because somebody did something just because. So there's the cards. Now, the little sneak peek I wanted to show you. My new project, I am using a paper collection called Little Boy. And I'm going to show you that because I got single sheets, so I don't have the front cover sheet. So it's not all glued down, but it's just to get you excited about the next project that's coming across my desk. So the front of it, when I get it all done, is going to be layered something like this, I believe, with this across the front. So now you're seeing my whole process. But it's called Little Boy. It's by Cartabella. So it's textured. I did use a 6x6. I got the ephemera, and I got 2 sheets of each of the pattern paper, and I believe I got 2 of each of the solids, and I have some paper left over, but I'm not completely done matting. So here's just a little sneak peek of what's to come. It's not finished, so it's going to be a 4-page album, and it's for the big boy. Lots of opportunities for pictures. This is a 6x6, 2 6x6 on the 6x6 sheet, and I left them together, and I just cut out the part I wanted inside. So I'm not going to go too far because then it won't be a surprise when I get it. But yes, this is what we're working on for our next design theme project. So can't wait to share it all with you. It's going to be amazing. So because you stuck around to the end, you get to see what the next project's going to be. I'm kind of hoping we can start this next week. Hoping. That's my plan. So we'll see how it all rolls. So again, thank you for watching today. And if you're watching on the rerun, I'm hoping you're having a great day. And I will see you on my next live, which I'm hoping will be next Friday. And we'll start the construction on that album that I just showed you. So that's where I'm headed. Have a great day, everyone. And hopefully you get some time to craft this weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.